Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Just Prom Does Business. As I mentioned in my last video, we're going to spend these next couple of videos doing some deeper dives into Microsoft Teams. And I thought the best place to start today was to deep dive into Teams themselves. Why do we build teams? How do we build teams? And then how do you continue to leverage them to get the most out of that team and the people you're collaborating with? The first thing I want to talk about is why to create a team. When I'm interacting with customers and talking to them about Microsoft Teams, they'll often mention that they have other solutions in place and can sometimes struggle with figuring out how to best leverage Teams. Things like email or Yammer or other competitive solutions might already be in place, but Teams has a really specific purpose. When you're using Microsoft Teams, a big part of it, as I showed in my first video, are things like one-on-one chats. But when you look at Teams themselves, they're meant to be smaller groups of people that you either interact with on a almost daily basis or for a specific identified period of time. An example of that would be if you're planning an event together. So before you create a team, you want to understand what is the purpose of that team and how do I envision other people interacting in that team to get the most out of it. A great example are my peers at work. My manager has created a team for us to leverage. And within this team, we have a lot of different channels, such as learning, which is where we share learnings that we found to be really valuable, whether those are external or internal. We also have channels around our upcoming team offsite and planning that, etc. Another way we use Teams within work is when we're helping out our customers. As an example, an account executive might have a team for one customer underneath which the different channels talk about the different solutions we're helping the customer with. Some account executives who cover a lot of customers might have one team for all of the customers they cover, and then each customer is a different channel. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the different flavors for how you can create and use Teams, and hopefully you're finding this helpful. But really, the summary of it is, when you're using Microsoft Teams and when you're going to create a team, make sure you understand the why behind it. And that's how you ensure that you get the most out of it. Now I want to get into a demo and show you a little bit more about how I actually use Microsoft Teams. Let's get started. Let's start off. The first thing we want to do is actually go ahead and create a team. So we're going to click the Join or Create a Team here on the bottom left-hand side. When we click that, you're going to see some options come up. The first one here is to create a team. Next to that, you have the option to join a team with a code. The rest of the teams that you see listed here are teams that are being recommended to me based on the people that I either interact with frequently or am in other teams with. For the purposes of this video, we're going to go ahead and create a team. So again, I have two options. Do I want to create a team from scratch, or do I want to create a team using an existing Office 365 group? Again, we're just going to go ahead and create a team from scratch. My next option here is whether or not I want to create a private team or a public team. Hopefully, as we are going through this, you're starting to understand more and more why it's so important to understand the why you are creating a team before you do it. For the purposes of my demo today, I'm going to choose a public team, and I'm going to give it a simple name and add something here in the team description, and then I'll click create. Cool, now I have a team. Next step, obviously, is to add members to my team. So I'm going to add one of my peers, mostly because I know she won't mind me doing that in a test team scenario. I found her name, I'm going to click add. You'll see it gives me the option of whether I want her to be a member or an owner. A best practice I always recommend is having multiple owners when you create a team. If it really doesn't matter how many owners you have to you personally, i.e. you don't care if other people are modifying the team, then I suggest making everyone an owner. But the last thing you want to do is create a team that nobody else can modify, and therefore even things such as adding or subtracting members rely solely on you. So I'll make her an owner for fun, and then I'll go ahead and click close. All right, here is my new team. And that's how you create a team. I'm actually going to cut this video a little short because that was sort of the whole goal of this channel, was to have short and sweet tips. But I'll be back next week with more Microsoft Teams. As always, if you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell below for notifications when I post videos every week.